Welcome to question 19. It says if 50% of a number is 20, what is 75% of the number? When you see this with percentages, when you see that word, I want you to think times. And when you see this word, I want you to think equals. So you see the word of, think times. And when you see the word is, think equals. So 50% of a number, let's call that number x. So we have 50%, that's 0.5 or 0.50. So 50%, 0.5 times a number, times x, equals, is 20. So I'm saying this is true. So I have 0.5x, I can just write the x next to that number, equals 20. Now you might be able to look at this and say, well, I know 50% of a number is 20. That number would have to be 40 to start, because 50% of 40, half of 40, is 20. Okay, that works here. That's great if you know that, but maybe this would say 37% of a number. Then it's not quite so easy to think about. Then we definitely want to know how to set up the equation. So I'm trying to get you to a point where you can not only do the easy ones, but also do the harder ones. So if we divide by 0.5, this would cancel, this would go away. And dividing by 0.5, let's do that off to the side here with long division. So if I divide by a decimal, I can move the decimal the same number of places over, right? For the 20, it's right there. So I can move that over here, and I can change that problem then to 200 divided by 5. That's the same thing as 20 divided by 0.5. I just multiplied both numbers by 10. I changed the numbers in the same way. 5 goes into 2 0 times, but it goes into 20 4 times. And it looks like I won't have anything left over, so I'd put a 0 after that. So that means that 40 is what this equals. 20 divided by 0.5 is 40. And that should make sense if we go back to the original problem. 50% of 40 is 20. Now, what is 75% of the number? We know the number is still x. It's still this value. So we're going to take this value and now find 75% of that number. So I take 40 and 75%. 75% is the same thing as a decimal. If you write it as a decimal, we move it 2 places to the left, the decimal point. So this is the same thing as 0.75. So I can multiply 40 times 0.75. If I do that, I've got a 0 here. 4 times 5 is 20. And then I would move to my next place, put an X or put a 0 or put a blank spot there. And I've got 0 times 7, that's 0. 4 times 7, 28. And I add those all together. I'd have 0 here, 0 here, 0 here, and 3 here. Now you might look at this and say 3,000, that's not one of my answer choices. I don't understand what's going on. If I go back quickly to number 18, remember the total places to the right of the decimal on the top. So whatever you're multiplying the numbers, whatever numbers you're multiplying by, up here it was 1 place to the right of the decimal. They have to match on the bottom, the total number of places to the right of the decimal. So there's 1 total place up here, there's 1 total place up here. They're down there. On this one, there's 2 total places to the right of the decimal, this 7 and this 5. So I have to have that matching down here. There's got to be 2 total places to the right of the decimal. And that makes more sense now. We've got 30 as our answer. 75% of the number 40 is this number 30 right here. So my final answer for this one should be choice C.